Today's story is called The Three Little Birds, from Brothers Grimm. About 1,000 or more years ago, there were in this country nothing but small kings, and one of them who lived on the Cuterberg was very fond of hunting. Once on a time, when he was riding forth from his castle with his huntsmen, 3 girls were watching their cows upon the mountain, and when they saw the king with all his followers, the eldest girl pointed to him and called to the other 2, "If I do not get that one, I shall have none." Then the second girl answered from the other side of the hill and pointed to the one who was on the king's right hand. "Hello, if I do not get him, I shall have none." And the third girl likewise, with the one on the king's left hand. These, however, were the 2 ministers. The king heard all this, and when he had come back from the chase, he caused the 3 girls to be brought to him and asked them what they had said yesterday on the mountain. This they would not tell him, so the king asked the eldest if she would really take him for her husband, and she said yes. And the 2 ministers married the 2 sisters, for they were all 3 fair and beautiful of face, especially the queen, who had hair like flax. The 2 sisters had no children, and once, when the king was obliged to go from home, he invited them to come to the queen in order to cheer her, for she was about to bear a child. She had a little boy who brought a bright red star into the world with him. The 2 sisters said to each other they would throw the beautiful boy into the water, and when they had thrown him in, I believe it was into the Weser, a little bird flew up into the air and sang, "To thy death thou art sped, until God's word be said, in the white lily bloom, brave boy, is thy tomb." When the 2 heard that, they were frightened to death and ran away in great haste. When the king came home, they told him the queen had been delivered of a dog, and the king said, "What God does is well done." But a fisherman who dwelt near the water fished the boy out again while he was still alive, and as his wife had no children, they reared him. When a year had gone by, the king again went away, and the queen had another little boy whom the false sisters likewise took and threw into the river. And up flew a little bird again and sang, "To thy death thou art sped, until God's word be said, in the white lily bloom, brave boy, is thy tomb." When the king came back, they told him the queen had once more given birth to a dog, but again he said, "What God does is well done." The fisherman, however, fished this one out of the water and reared him as well. Then the king again journeyed forth, and the queen had a little girl whom the false sisters threw into the water. And up again a little bird flew and sang, "To thy death thou art sped, until God's word be said, in the white lily bloom, brave girl, is thy tomb." And when the king came home, they told him the queen had been delivered of a cat. Then the king grew angry and ordered his wife to be cast into prison, and therein she was shut up for many years. In the meantime, the children had grown up. The eldest once went out with some other boys to fish, but the other boys would not have him, and said, "Go away, foundling." Hereupon he was much troubled, and asked the old fisherman if that was true. The fisherman told him once, when he was fishing, he had drawn him up out of the water, so the boy said he would go forth and seek his father. The fisherman, however, entreated him to stay, but he would not let himself be hindered, and at last the fisherman consented. So the boy went on his way and walked for many days, and at last he came to a great piece of water, by the side of which stood an old woman fishing. "Good day, mother," said the boy. "Many thanks," said she. "You will fish long before you catch anything, and you will seek long enough before you find your father. How will you get over the water?" asked the woman. "God knows." Then the old woman took him up on her back and carried him through it, and he sought for a long time, but he could not find his father. When a year had gone by, the second boy set out to seek his brother. He came to the water, and all fared with him just as with his brother. Now there was no one at home but the daughter, and she mourned for her brothers so much that at last she also begged the fisherman to let her set forth, for she wished to search for her brothers. Then she likewise came to the great piece of water, and she said to the old woman, "Good day, mother." "Many thanks," said the old woman. "May God help you with your fishing," said the maiden. When the old woman heard that, she became quite friendly, and carried her over the water, gave her a wand, and said to her, "My daughter, ever onwards by this road go on. When you come to a great black dog, you must pass by it silently and boldly, without either laughing or looking at it. Then you will come to a great high castle, on the threshold of which you must let the wand fall. Go straight through the castle and out again on the other side. There you will see an old fountain out of which a tree has grown, whereon hangs a bird in a cage that you must take down. Take likewise a glass of water from the fountain, and with these 2 things go back the same way. Pick up the wand again from the threshold and take it with you, and when you again pass by the dog, strike him in the face with it. Be sure that you hit him, and just come back here to me." The maiden found everything exactly as the old woman had said, and on her way back she found her 2 brothers who had sought each other over half the world. They went together to the place where the black dog was lying on the road. She struck it in the face, and it turned into a handsome prince who went with them to the river. There the old woman was still standing. She rejoiced to see them again, and carried them all over the water, and she too went away, for now she was freed. The others, however, went to the old fisherman, and all were glad they had found one another again, and they hung the bird on the wall. But the second son could not settle at home, and took his crossbow and went hunting. When he was tired, he took his flute and made music. The king, too, was hunting, and heard and went there, and when he met the youth, said, "Who has given you leave to hunt here?" "Well, no one." "To whom do you belong?" "I am the fisherman's son." "But he has no children. If you will not believe, come with me." That the king did, and questioned the fisherman, who told everything to him, and the little bird on the wall began to sing. "The mother sits alone there in the prison small. O king of royal blood, these are thy children all. The sisters twain so false, they wrought the children woe, there in the waters deep, where the fishermen come and go." Then they all were terrified, and the king took the bird, the fisherman, and the 3 children back with him to the castle, and ordered the prison to be opened and his wife brought out again. She had, however, grown quite ill and weak. The daughter gave her some of the water of the fountain to drink, and she became strong and healthy. But the 2 false sisters were burnt, and the daughter married the prince, who had once been a dog. The end.